with that, we land the plane with number five. Now that you've been through it and you can't say you're dead,
Mhm.
number five, who would you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
I would nominate Jordan Decker
Ah, Jordan in the chat. Jordan in the chat. Why?
because Jordan, he likes his. Here's what I like about Jordan.
I
What
love
I
it,
like
Jordan.
about Jordan is Jordan has he's funny,
Mm-hmm.
but he has the biggest heart, and I feel
Oh,
like it would be a great opportunity for him to explore some things himself because I felt
mm-hmm.
like the five takes gave me an opportunity to explore some things about movies and how I feel about it. And it's this great opportunity to get to know people a little bit differently.
What's up, y'all? It's KB. And if you're like us, you love movies. That was Miss Leanna Bevy Rage. I got to say it like that now. And she was our guest on the conversation most recently. And she nominated this guy next to me. Joining us tonight from Horror on Tap, we have Jordan Decker. What is up, sir?
Howdy. Not a
How's it
whole lot
going?
is up right now. Glad to be here. It was kind of a surprise to me when Leanna asked me if I wanted to potentially come on your channel. So I said absolutely, and here we are.
I'm glad she did. I love discovering newer, I will say, newer YouTube channels. Of course, I have my favorites. People have been doing it for years and years, but I like to see reviews, especially from people who are kind of just getting out the starting gate. How long has Horror on Tap been around?
I just celebrated my 1 year anniversary not that long ago, a few weeks ago.
Nice.
And before that, it was probably another year uh, building up
Mm-hmm.
to the actual start time because it was something that I thought about here and there. And at one point, I was like, I just got to kind of get going. And then I had a friend who sort of on his own channel sort of called me out on it. He was like, you've been talking about doing this channel for what's it been, like a year now?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I should probably, shit or get off the pot. So he kind of
Exactly.
motivated me to get going. And so I really just started small. I got myself a new laptop and a desk and pretty much just started going. And it was slow going. And then it took a lot of practice and just kind of getting caught up with the technology because I haven't done this kind of stuff in so many years. Like I go back when I was in high school, we used to do video clips uh, for the school.
Yeah.
We'd go to sporting events, record on the old VHS camcorder, little
Mm-hmm.
handheld, and then edit things together to make a compilation video for the end of the year. And we did it all on VHS. So it was VHS to
Nice.
VHS.
Yeah.
So I go back that far with editing and doing dubs over just the audio track on the tape and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. But I hadn't done a lot of it in many years. So
It
just trying to
comes
get
back to
caught
you.
up. The way things have changed, it's like anybody and everybody can be a streamer or a
It's true.
video editor. You gotta practice a little bit
Yeah.
and you'll get it.
There's so many people that I know that are like, oh, I can never do what you do, or a lot of people that I want to be guests, and they're like, I'm not ready to do that. I'm like, as far as being a guest, just show up.
Mhm.
I've told a lot of people my job is not to ask you questions. It's not to, have a troll get at you in the chat. It's really to make you feel comfortable and share your passion, which is what we're going to do here tonight. But as far as starting channels, I tell people you just got to hit record, which I got from Think Media. They always say that. But once you do that, you're already starting. You're putting in the reps. I look like I should have been holding up a newspaper on my first video, like a hostage situation or something. And honestly, it's just a matter of doing it over and over. And most importantly, like not being a fraud. Like be yourself. Be who you are all the time so you don't have to put it on. You could just put on the camera instead and be yourself. We are not alone. So let's see who's in the chat before we go any further. We got my man Steve Moody in the house saying good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Speak of the lady, she pops up. What is up, Leanna? Good to see you. We got my man, Brother Dell in the house saying, what's up? What's up, brother? We got Mama Blu-ray in the house. Always good to see you, Bonnie. Hello, hello. Um, I guess she likes to see herself on video, giving herself the hands up. There we go. Um, let's see. We got Cody Snyder saying, Decker. As
Snyder
well as
Man.
Dean saying, what's up to everyone.
You
My man Gunchi is in the house. Good to see you as always, sir. Let's see. I'm trying to do this now because this thing is going to keep scrolling like crazy and driving me crazy. People saying hi to each other. Always love to see that. Who else? Who else? Who else? It's scrolling up on me as I scroll down. It's insane. Who is this? Path Halloween's movie collector.
That's my buddy Pat. That's Pat, that Halloween movie collector.
Oh, Pat, that Halloween movie
Yeah.
collector. What
And
is up, Pat?
he is one heck of a Halloween movie collector.
Oh yeah,
If or
I
when
got-
you see his collection, it is quite impressive.
nice. I got to check that out. I think Leanna mentioned him as well. So good to see you. I think she was on his channel once upon a time. We got Brett checking in. Yeah, it should be special for sure. Anytime we get to talk movies, it's always special.
I think
Always
Brett's being a
special.
little facetious there. He's saying he knows me well
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, yeah. Practice and planning, and sometimes screw planning. Just fly off the seat of your pants and just have fun with it. Have fun with it. That's what I say. Let's see who else. Who else? Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you. I try. I try. Honestly, this is just giving my wife and my daughter a break from me talking movies to them all the time. So today was finally released by Second Sight Films, The Devil's Candy. Wow. Second Sight is probably my favorite import label. So anytime they put out something, I'm always interested in what they got to say. Got my man Culture Training House. Salute, 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 my dude. Good to see you. I see you there, Mika. We got Mika from Double Feature Podcast saying hi to everyone. If I could go back up and find it when she said, there we go. She's on the check-in here. Watch out for this Jordan guy. He's not PG. Neither am I. But
Yeah,
you
Chris knows. Yeah, he knows.
you don't know
I'll just
that
leave it
side of me. Let's see. Yeah, keep the chat going. If you have any questions for Jordan, please put them in the chat. We'll be checking in periodically. Laren, catching us from the beginning of the show. He's infamous for coming in at the end. Oh yeah, I gotta check out Pat's channel. That's for sure. We got Nikki on the check-in saying good evening. Good evening to you, dear. Always good to see you. Yeah, Mama Blu-ray said it best. Hit the likes, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. If you like what you're seeing, feel free to join us and jump in sometimes. And I saw Mr. Adrian James on the check-in as well. Always good to see you, sir. I usually start with icebreakers, but I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to jump right into it. Horror on Tap. That is pretty self-explanatory. So do you always do a pairing with a movie? Or you always try to?
Usually, yeah. Yep, I've
Mhm.
got a little segment I do called "What Is He Drinking?" Comes
Nice.
with a nice little jingle and a video at the beginning, and I would sing it for you, but you don't want to hear that. You'll have people unsubscribing quicker than you can even imagine.
Nice. By the way, folks, I'm still fighting this cold. Right now it's just like an annoying cough. So if I sound funky, that's what it is. What's up, Johnny? My favorite cool kid. Colin on the check-in. He has something to say about you, of course. Good to see my
Oh,
man
boy.
Deck on here. Hope you're well. TCM 74 German label. Yes. Love to see the fellow collectors. Love to see the fellow collectors. Um, yeah, I checked out a couple of videos, did my research, what have you, and I saw that you were a little under the weather when you went to watch The Thing, and you ended up drinking coffee. And I
Mm.
watched the whole thing, and I went back just before we came on here to see if you said it, and I missed it. So I will ask you, what would have been the pairing with The Thing if you're in better spirits?
Ooh, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just whatever comes to me. I like to go to my local grocery store, and they do the build your own six packs,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
have a
my
lot
wife
of
loves that.
really good options. So typically what I'll do is I'll lean towards the ones that come in like the 16-ounce cans rather than the 12, because then
Hmm.
you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. So
Right.
today I actually brought one in. This is one of my favorite breweries in in the world. It's amazing. It's called Prison City Brewing. This one here is kind of their flagship beer called Mass Riot. So it's a
Mm.
New England IPA. I'm very slowly sipping on it.
Hmm.
Other than that, I've been drinking water all day just because, like I was telling you earlier before we went on, had a bit of a late night last night with some friends, and when we get together, things get a little rowdy. People start touching each other, and then you just keep drinking. And you wake up feeling like crap. So,
And someone has proof of the previous night's events.
hmm
It's like
yeah,
the end of the hangover or something.
yeah. I've always got at least one person in the group chat that likes to take screen captures and then send them out to you the next morning, and then you're like, I
Yeah,
don't remember any of that.
yeah.
None of
That
it at all.
that's the signs of a good night. Um, so the thing that got me with the channel is I'm going through it and I'm seeing things like The Thing, American Werewolf in London, Scanners. Looking at your background, you apparently love horror movies. So if you didn't see these classics, what were you watching?
Oh man, I mean, I was really um, for some reason I've always stuck to what I know. Like I'll
Hmm.
watch the same movies over and over. Like if you
Yeah.
look, you can't really see everything in my background right now, but most everything behind me is Halloween or Friday the 13th related. Like, you can see a little bit of it right now, but there's a lot more on either side of me.
Yeah.
So those have been my big go-tos forever. Halloween's, of course, my favorite movie franchise, not just horror movies, but any movie franchise. So I've always kind of leaned towards those. And I'd get into these conversations with people where they're talking about this movie or that movie and what happened here and what happened there, and just making general references to them. It's
Hmm.
like when people make pop culture references, you may not know the exact origin of it, but you know what it means.
Right.
And I wasn't getting any of that. So I was like, I need to start educating myself because I feel like a real dummy here. I call myself a horror fan, and then
Right.
you get
Right.
all these people who are true horror fans and know a lot more about it than I do.
Hmm.
And so they start talking, and I'm just kind of like, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
nodding along, but I have no idea what the heck they're talking about. So I just needed to get kind of caught up, and I started doing that. And then for my 1 year anniversary of my channel, I did a live stream, which was my first live stream ever that I'd done.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take the movies that I'd watched and kind of rank them in order. And when
Mm.
I was putting them together, I was like, man, it's been a whole year. I've only done 10 movies. Like, because I started doing some other stuff. And then for a while, I kind of took a break. Like, I was
Hmm.
gone for a few months where I didn't do anything at all. I was just burnout in life and stuff going on. And then when you start having like technical problems, you get a little bummed out about it. Like, okay, this isn't going the way I wanted it to. So I had to get
Right.
caught up and figure some stuff out. And then once I did that, I was ready to come back. And especially in the last few months or so, I think I've been pumping out a lot more product. And then of
Yeah.
course started to do live streams here and there. So they're a lot more easy to do than a pre-recorded video.
Oh yeah.
A lot of editing and everything else. It's
Yeah. It's like once the live stream is over, you're done. You're
yeah,
done. It's behind you. You could close the laptop, turn off the lights, go to bed. But it's almost like when you do pre-recorded, it's like, okay, I recorded it. I didn't say too many times. Damn, now I gotta edit it. Great.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's another thing that I'm always trying to focus on and work on is, my cadence and not getting a lot of ums and ums and
hmm
wells, and I'll say like a lot, and a few other little phrases that you don't realize you're saying it, and then when you go back
yeah.
and watch it, you're like, holy shit, figure it out.
Dell brings up a good thing here. He loves the TriStar tee. Tell the story of the TriStar Pictures t-shirt.
Yeah, there actually is a story to the shirt. When I was young, probably in the 5 to 10 age range, whenever a movie would come on that featured the TriStar Pictures logo at the beginning, I'd be sitting in the living room. It would come on, and I could hear, like, I knew the music. I could hear it. I,
hmm
I knew it. I knew what was coming. I would get up and I would run, and my dad had this big green recliner, and it was in the corner of the living room. I would go and run and hide behind that thing,
Oh,
cover my eyes, cover my ears, and I would just kind of time it in my head how long it took for that to end because it scared the living crap out of me when I was a kid, and I have no idea why. I mean, to this day, it'll come on, and of
yeah.
course they have changed it. But if I'm watching something older, I'm just like,
It gets
you,
a little creepy.
yeah, you
It
bastard,
has to
you
be
ruined my
some
childhood.
movie. Has to be some movie though. Something associated. I need people to look up like horror or thriller movies, suspense movies on TriStars in like the 90s or something. It has to be something from back then that was tripping you out.
Yeah,
Has to
we can
be.
do a deep dive and see if we can
Has to be.
get into my neuroses and figure it out. There's got to
Like,
be, yeah.
okay,
You're
there
right.
was this old show called Soap that it was like Billy Crystal's early TV debut. He was on that show, and the music they would play on it would creep me out, even though it was a comedy. And like even saying that right now, I feel like ooh, just feel like doing one of those numbers, and I don't know what it is. To this day, I could watch an episode of it, and I hear the music, and it's still kind of like kind of chills, but I don't know what it's associated with. So go figure. We always say just be yourself and have fun. Kira and I joke about how many ums we say. Love a good live, no editing. Yeah, you just got to go for it. You can't even focus on the ums and the ahs. I believe Dell said that's like his trademark before. And all these people have wonderful channels right now. So you just got to go for yours. Yeah, see, I just did it. I still find myself saying and ums. It's because it's kind of like a way, unless you're trained, like people who do sports broadcasting, for example, are trained to like do like this to like pucker up when they are thinking about going, maybe. The majestic winged horse is scary. You just never know what frightens someone. It's very true. It's very true.
Yeah, everybody kind of has their thing. They
Yeah,
can be completely irrational.
very true. Very true.
Like I
But
would like to talk to somebody else who's scared of this. There's got to be
yeah,
at least one other person on this planet.
yeah. And the thing is, you have that figured out. I think a lot of us always feel like we're alone in a feeling or a premonition or something. And it's just happening to me. Then you find out someone else suffers with it or see the same thing or hear the same thing. You're like, you too? So you never know. It might be there for you. But
Yeah,
let's talk
you got to be
about
the
the
person.
opposite. Being a horror fan, it's kind of weird. Like when I was in school, I would tell people I used to fall asleep watching Silence of the Lambs and Alien, the first one. And it was kind of like a comfort for me. It was relaxing for me to fall asleep. And the TV had a sleep unit on it, so it would go off after a certain time. So I'd just fall asleep. What is the one horror movie, if I may ask, that would normally terrify people, like normal people, let's call them what they are, and not what we are. But for you, it's like the ultimate comfort food when it comes to like, I could fall asleep to this. Is it one of the Halloweens, something else?
It would probably be the original Friday the 13th.
Okay.
That
Okay.
one, for a variety of reasons, really just kind of resonates well with me. Like I know a lot of people don't like that one as far as the pantheon of that franchise goes, because Jason's not your
Jason.
killer,
Yeah.
spoiler alert. But I, as a kid, I went to camp for it was like a long weekend. It wasn't a summer camp or anything like that. But even then, I think I was in fourth grade. But I remember being in the top bunk. My dad was a chaperone, so he was in the bottom bunk. I was in the top, and there was a window right to my right, and we were right on this big. It was actually a pond, not a lake, but potato.
Right.
And I sat there, just laying there all night, staring up at the ceiling. There was a smoke detector with a little blinking green light. I sat there and stared at it, and every couple of minutes I would turn and look out that window just to make sure Jason wasn't walking out.
So
But
you
I
knew about Jason by then.
Oh yeah, yep. I was watching horror movies with my dad and my grandpa, especially before that age. So,
Nice.
but again, that's just one of those movies where it's the scenery and everything just kind of brings me comfort, even though you got a crazy killer out there knocking everybody off. But like you said, the other people are the normal ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
mind being the oddball out.
My Jason story is also a summer camp story. We had the summer camp and they had the older kids kind of babysitting the younger kids, and we would like go and do arts and crafts, and then they could have their own time, and they would go in the cafeteria, which was also like a little indoor auditorium, and they would watch like rated R films while we were arts and crafts, and other people were supposed to be watching us. So I walked in and they're watching, which I still don't get this. They watch part two, and then the next night they watch part one. But I went in to see if there was any drinks left from our snack time, and they had just started part two. So I'm watching it in the back, and I'm, that whole freeze, flight, whatever it's called. And I just stood there in fear of the whole movie. I couldn't move, and I watched the whole thing. And then I heard them saying they're going to go back and get part one the following night. So I snuck in and watched part one. And I watched them out of order, but then by the time I was a teenager, you had, I think, 4 and on. What year was 4?
I'm horrible with years. I know I've got friends who could tell you right off the top of their head.
If you know, put it in the chat. The 4th,
Friday
Friday the 13th,
Friday.
the final chapter. So 84. So 84 on, I saw in the movie theater. And then by Jason Takes Manhattan, I was taking dates to movies, and that was always a good time. Allie and Anthony, if you're out there and you're watching this, you know about my Jason Takes Manhattan story. But yeah, it just made for a great date night. The Halloweens, those were more my speed, and I always, same thing. My wife and I would go and see, yes, freeze, fight, flight. I would do the freeze. Those 2 nights I was just frozen. So yeah, it's crazy. Damn, Colin got a whole bunch of them. We said 1. He's filling up the screen here.
Oh boy.
Halloween 78, H2 81, Dirty Harry, Night of the Living Dead, Fog, 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. Good movie, by the way. Dallas Trilogy, Breakfast Club. That's my daughter's sick movie because that's when I showed it to her. Every Which Way But Loose. Also a Clint Eastwood fan, I see. Mika adds Demons, one I go to a lot. That's the one that made me and my cousin turn off the VCR because we were getting freaked out. It was like the 3rd or 4th horror movie that day, and something about demons just said, stop, this is not right. Yeah, Alien, Halloween 78 all day. Yeah. I just like, which way can I go? This way? This way? So if you look below Sir Hitchcock, below Freddy's Glove, I have the Friday the 13th box set. And I still haven't gone through. I said, oh, we got 3 Friday the 13th this year. I'll go through and watch all. I haven't done it yet. I have not done it yet, but I will. I will. Still have time. So, like I said, I went through the channel and I saw that you did like a breakdown of delayed horror sequels and why they take so long, which is an excellent thing because a lot of times people focus on their favorite sequels and the ones that take long, but taking that extra step to talk about why they took so long is a great detail. So, which one do you think like was actually justified in the long wait, and which one should have just like kept it the way it was with no sequel? Because I got one or two myself, but I want to hear yours.
Well, the one that immediately comes to mind was Red Dragon,
Mm,
or it was Hannibal for Silence of the Lambs,
yeah,
simply because there was no book yet. I
right.
feel like that's probably more common than a lot of us think, because there's so many movies that are based on books, and a lot of them aren't older books. The book is written, it's released, they make the movie like right
Hmm.
away. You gotta strike while the iron is hot, as they say. So a lot
Yeah,
of those, they have to you have to wait, and a lot of times you don't get a sequel. But like with Hannibal, that one it was a pretty lengthy wait. Um, but yeah, that's really the first one that comes to mind. I'd have to go back and actually look at all the ones I did, because there were a bunch in there, but yeah, that was the first one that came to mind.
yeah. I would have thought they would have went back and tried to do which eventually became Red Dragon,
Yeah.
because they had Manhunter, which was the
Mhm.
Michael Mann one, which is so gritty, so excellent, but it wasn't with Anthony Hopkins.
Right. It
So
was oh, what's his name? Brian Cox.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you would think that they would have went back and just did it again, but with Anthony Hopkins, that ended up being the third movie. But yeah, they optioned the sequel as soon as they saw the success of Silence, and they're like, well, we just gotta wait. But what about one that should have stayed dead?
Ooh.
Like it didn't need a sequel.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a toughie. I it's kind of too bad that I didn't know you were going to ask me this, because I had my list from when I did the stream. I had it on my computer, and I closed it out and deleted it. I was like, I don't
Ah,
need that
dang.
anymore. Oh boy, let's see.
Ooh,
I don't know. You kind of stumped me here.
that's okay. I think Dell just gave us our transition because this is one that you did cover,
Yep.
and that is a great delayed sequel. And I think a lot of people, the people that didn't like Psycho 2, was doing the old comparison game, and I've been guilty of it myself.
Mhm.
I mean, you see, I got Hitchcock behind me. I hold Psycho in uh, such a high pantheon as far as original slashers. That and Peeping Tom the same year, which I think led to the '80s slashers that we got. But Psycho 2, if you look at it just as a movie on its own and not compare it to, which is considered a classic, which is the 1960s version, is a great, great movie, and it keeps you guessing all the way to the end. We still want people to go and watch a video, but overall, what did you think of Psycho 2?
Well, I mean, not to spoil my ranking or anything, but Psycho 2 actually came in at number one as my favorite of those delayed sequels. I really enjoyed that movie, and I'm hoping to get to Psycho 3 before too long.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a few more to go, and I like Psycho 2. Even when I first went to watch that film, I was like, I, "There's a Psycho 2?" I didn't. It didn't register. I think I knew that there was,
Right.
but it just didn't click with me. I was like, "Huh, that is kind of weird." And like any movie they took, it's going to take 22, 23 years to come out. You
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to be a whole new cast and everything, which ultimately it was, minus Anthony Perkins,
Right.
which was it was cool to see him back, and he really portrayed that character, I think, perfectly, just as he did in the first movie. But he got to bring it back to, or bring it to life a little bit more. You got to see more of his personality,
Yeah.
and I love the one of the first things I really noticed when I started watching it. I was like, oh, this movie's in color. We get to see his house in color. From
Yeah, without going on a Universal tour.
yeah,
Dean mentioned Sinister 2, very unnecessary because the original is so effective. Yeah, yeah. And I feel that way about Exorcist 2, The Heretic. I love Exorcist
Mm.
3, which I think saved it as far as a franchise, but I almost take Exorcist 3 as its own separate movie, not a sequel, because 2 is so god awful. So that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah,
That
you
could
get a
have
lot
just
of
stayed dead.
sequels that you kind of have to assume them as a standalone movie to really enjoy it.
hmm I was I was in a Hitchcock class, and it was just a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds, and the majority of them knew the shower scene in Psycho, but had never seen the movie, and it was just great to watch. You would think they're desensitized, they've been through 80 slashers all the way up to the paranormal activities and all that. They'd be desensitized. They had the freeze, fight or flight, but they had the frozen part, like down packed. Like you could see like the blood leave their face in that scene. I was like, look at this. We're looking at like at the time 50-year-old movie, and it's doing this to young people. It lasts. It stays with you. Um, as a fan, how do you feel? Like, is it difficult to chase that high of seeing something for the first time? Like Mika just mentioned that Exorcist 3 has one of the best jump scares. That's one that gets me every time. And weird enough, The Dark Knight, when the dummy Batman hits the window, still gets me every time. Don't ask me why. But there's something unique, especially as horror fans, about getting that high of like generally being surprised or scared or terrified at a certain scene for the first time. How do you well, not how do you, but is it difficult for you to chase that in different types of horror movies, especially the kind of horror movies that we see today, comparison to like past movies?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't go watch a lot of new movies. I rarely, very rarely go to the theater, especially since I don't have a movie theater in town. I have to travel a good 45 minutes to get to one.
Wow.
So, I mean, at least we can get stuff on streaming pretty
Yeah.
much right away
Yeah.
nowadays. Uh, but yeah, for me, I've historically really just kind of stuck with the classics because I hated the idea of watching something that I wasn't sure I was gonna like.
Hmm.
And with horror movies, it feels like it's all been done before. Almost everything you watch, you feel like, oh, you know what's gonna come. You know there's gonna be a jump scare. You know there's gonna be a twist, whatever the case may be. You feel like you can figure it out. So finding something that has a new element to it, I think, is real difficult.
hmm
Like
So,
I,
what was the last thing you seen in a theater?
oh, in the theater, oh boy, I think Halloween Ends.
Really?
Yeah, it goes
Okay.
back a ways, which
Okay.
was ironically that was the last film that they ever showed in my local movie theater before it closed down.
Hmm.
Yep.
Well, I would say sometime next month, do yourself a favor and see Obsession. There's a reason why everyone's talking about it. And like you said, a lot of those things, a lot of those tropes have been done before. But I sat next to this lady who apparently had seen the movie before. I went on opening night. I don't know how she saw it before, probably at a
Mm.
film festival or whatever. And she just yelled out to whoever would listen in the ether and said, I've seen this before, and it still made me jump. So sometimes when a movie has those tropes, but the way it's done is just new or unexpected, I love that. I love when that happens. Ooh,
Yeah, I had a film that I actually enjoyed that I think was pretty universally hated. Was In a Violent Nature.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I think most everybody I've talked to, they're like, "Oh, it's just a whole bunch of walking. It sucks." Which, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I thought it was
So is
refreshing.
Lord of the
It was
Rings.
something a little bit different. And that's what I liked about it.
I agree. I like the almost first person shooter aspect, like a video game to it. It made you stop and think about, yeah, what does Jason do when he's not chasing us? in
I
the
feel like there's a comedy waiting to happen
yeah.
with that whole theme. It'll be him sitting on the toilet or
Hmm.
sweeping up in his living room or
Yeah. Or
walking
maybe going
around
back and saying, "Oh,
bird
there's my
watching.
knife," and wiping it off on a
Yeah,
bloody corpse or whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Look at that. You're getting some surprise love for In a Violent Nature. Liana loves it. Eli loves it. Yeah, I went to see it with a bunch of my friends that I go to festivals with, call them the Ghoul Girls, and my wife came with me. And I would understand it's slow at times, but the payoff is always worth it. Come on, that one best kill by Fangoria with the yoga girl. That was so good. That was so good. Eli says Jordan has a chill AF podcast voice. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. You're like the second or third person to say that in the chat tonight. So
Why, thank you, Eli.
there you go. Yeah, Jason is crocheting next to the fire, just chilling, waiting for nightfall. Yeah,
S'mores.
I have it right there. Dell liked it too. It's just because, like you said, it feels like everything has been done. So just to see it from different aspects or have things done in a different nature, in a violent nature, is always interesting to take some of those tropes and just like flip it on the ear. So I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think we just have some like-minded people in the chat is what it is.
that too. That too. I I'm feeling your pain with the movie theater being far away. I I don't think I. Oof. Oh, it hurts my heart. I'm based here in Kansas City, and that's where AMC headquarters is.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm like within a spit's throw of at least three of them. Like literally, it's like, oh, the time doesn't work out. I'm gonna go to this one over here. Yeah, I'm spoiled in that sense. But if I would be dedicated if I had to go 45 minutes away. I have a friend who last summer just spent Saturdays at the movie theater. Like he had the pass, so we'd be able to see 4 movies a week. He would do 4 movies in a day. But that would be me if I had to go 45 minutes away. I would be spending Saturdays or Sundays or some days in the theater.
I
What's
was
your favorite?
actually I
Oh,
was
go
out
ahead.
of town yesterday,
Hmm.
and I had to return some equipment to my cable company because I was dumping them for a better company.
There you
And
go.
there's actually an AMC right in the same parking lot. And I looked up the time for Obsession, and it was like a couple hours after I was there, and I was like, maybe I'll hit it on another weekend or something. But
Hmm.
I thought about it. I almost went over. I almost waited.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go get lunch and then go, and then
Make a
kind
day
of
of
had
it.
too much to do. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. I
but
understand.
everybody's talking about it, so I got to go
There,
see it.
there's a reason. It's like everybody loves parfait. It's multi-layered. It's very multi-layered that way. So, I think that's what does it for me. It's
Ogres
like,
are like onions. Ogres are like cake.
what decade do you plant your flag on as far as horror movies? Are you a 70s guy, 80s guy because of the Jason Michael thing?
Yeah, mostly I would say 70s through the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with Halloween and Friday the 13th. I feel like that was kind of the glory days of slasher horror, which
Hmm.
is kind of where I lean with horror typically is slashers. I'll do I'll do some of the other like psychological stuff. Like I like The Shining and movies like that are maybe not the most gory movies, but they get in your head a bit. Psycho
That's
was
what I
kind of the
like.
same way.
Yeah. Jordan, are you a fan of I Spit on Your Grave? Brett wants to know.
Brett is how do I
Trolling?
put it? Nah,
A
he's
smattering?
referencing an inside joke is what he's doing.
hence the winky emoji.
Exactly. Yeah.
Care to share?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I forget exactly how it came about, but in one of our group chats, somehow the something about like porno names came up. I think we were talking about it. Actually, I think Pat on one of his streams he was doing one, and this one came up either in that stream or in our chat later on. And that was one that came up was, spit on your grave, and somebody said, I spit on your ass. So I went in and made a little edit to the movie poster, and now we share that back and forth whenever it's relevant to the conversation.
hence
Yeah,
hence
yeah,
why the question came up.
yeah, yep. Brett was
Nice.
fishing there.
Yeah, yeah.
He got it.
What's up, Princey Prince? Bald by design. Bald by design. If I wanted to, I could grow in a chia pet up here. Just know that part. And I just aged myself, so I just dated myself. It's all good. It's all good.
I wish I
And
could say the same.
Colin
This is by God's
admitted to it.
design. I
He
just have
says,
to
"Yep,
flow with it.
it's me." All right, two-parted question here. So, out of the movies, which one is your perfect five-star masterpiece?
Out of any movie, any horror movie,
Yeah,
or any movie.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, I personally, I would have to go with Halloween.
78.
hmm Yeah, there obviously, like any movie, it's got its flaws, but for what it was made for, how quickly it was made, all that kind
Yeah.
of take all those moving parts and put them together. I think Carpenter made. Excuse me, it's like I had to get that one out. I figured I'd mute it just to
Appreciate that.
we've got some ladies in the chat. Yeah, for what Carpenter was able to achieve with that movie, I think even with little flaws here and there, I think it's the best horror movie for me, hands
Mhm.
down. And then of course its legacy and everything that
Right.
came from that movie.
Yeah. The
Just
more you
saying.
find out about movies like that, the more amazed you are by how it happened and the things that they had to do to get it done and everything. So, a flip on that, and then we'll use that as a launchpad into the five takes. What could have been a masterpiece, but it fell apart in the end?
Ooh. That's a good one. What
Because I'm
could have
seeing
been
a
a
lot
masterpiece?
more movies that it's
There's
good, and then, oh, you don't know how to land a plane. Damn.
Yeah. Let me see.
The crash and burn movies.
Yeah, there's what was one? I feel like there was one that I watched with high expectation but didn't like it. Now I can't think of what it was. I'm sure that I've probably got plenty. I think staying in the same realm, I
Mhm.
would say the Friday the 13th reboot.
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
they had all the necessary pieces to make a great movie, and I think they made a good movie. But I think there were ways that they kind of fumbled it. Too much of showing Jason and how he gets around, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I get they were trying to do something different,
Mm-hmm.
which I always appreciate that part. But the whole thing with him, kidnapping the guy's sister there just because she looked a little bit like his mom and had the locket that she snagged from his house. It just there were so many parts of it that could have made it great. Now, I mean, the whole "your tits are stupendous" that scene was awesome. Great writing. Kudos to the writer.
Whichever screenwriter threw that in, right?
Yeah,
It,
perfect.
that's almost it's almost like a setup for in a violent nature with the pendant and the, you know, moving around and showing it moving around. It's kind of like that. Um,
There's a thing with more modern horror movies, especially sequels or reboots. I feel
mhm.
like they the writers or the directors or whomever they really want to feature the face of their killer as much as possible. Whereas back in the day,
Reading
they were in the
killer.
shadows. You saw a silhouette. Maybe you saw them from way in the back of the screen. You didn't get a whole lot of them until later in the movie. Whereas nowadays, I think they're just trying to get they're trying to put the moneymaker out there is what they're doing. They want
Yeah.
to get them on screen as much as possible. They did it with the Halloween movies. They did it with Friday. There's really just, you know, I think they need to go back to basics in making
Yeah.
horror movies. Go back and watch a movie from the 70s or the 80s and just see what they're doing. They're keeping things very subtle and kind of in the background. Nowadays, it's almost like you're watching an action movie. It's like I don't need
Yeah.
to see Michael Bay's Friday the 13th.
Full of
Explosion,
bays.
shit everywhere.
Yeah,
some
yeah.
car chase.
Yeah. Prince wants to know for me, bigger impact in your life, Biggie or Tupac? I'm a kid from Brooklyn, Biggie. We'll just keep it moving. For me, Long Legs and Barbarian had great concepts, dropped the ball. I know most of you love them. I think the payoff in Long Legs was okay. Barbarian, I think that's more of a we don't have it, so we're holding it in higher esteem. Like physical media collectors can't get a legit copy, so it's being held in higher esteem. I'm going to say the opposite for that question. I'm going to talk about a movie that started off not well and then it got better. Like I was like minutes away from turning off that remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then the party, the prom scene or whatever happened, and I was like, oh, we're having fun now. Let's stay with this one. And then I enjoyed the rest of it. I forget what kind of party it was, but the rest of the movie was great for me. Um, People talking about long legs, da 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 da.
Yeah, that Long Legs is another one that everybody talked about it, and I just never got to see it.
Prince asked this question to everyone: what is your feel good serotonin? What is your feel good movie serotonin boost?
Ooh, I'd say one of my big ones is the Karate Kid.
There you
I
go.
like the kind of that down and out kid who's in a new place, he's getting bullied and
Sweet delay.
figures out, figures out what he's doing and what he's supposed to be and all that. And he finds his best friend in Mr. Miyagi,
There you go.
wins
Everybody
the day,
needs a
gets the girl, gets the
paternal
trophy.
figure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Ready for the 5 takes?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. The 5 takes, the 5 questions we ask every guest at the end of the conversation. We're going to start the way we always do with changing the outlay. There we go. And going to number 1. Name the film that made you fall in love with the movies.
Now, this one, the answer is a little bit embarrassing.
Oh, do
And
tell. We like embarrassing
it's not-
questions and answers.
Yeah, the reason I picked this one is not because it's a great movie. I think a lot of people would probably take that question and say, well, here's one of my favorite movies from earlier in my life, and that's what did it.
Mhm.
The way I kind of took this one was thinking about what movie kind of got me into movies, going to see movies, going to rent movies, things
Yeah.
like that. And the unfortunate answer for me is Halloween H2O. Because
I'm an apologist. I'm an apologist for H2O. Continue.
I was, I think, 14 years old when it came out. So I was coming into a time in my life where I was old enough to actually go out and see a movie on my own or go down to the video store and get some rentals, things like that.
Mhm.
And I'm not a big H2O fan. I think it has its place in the franchise, but I think that it wasn't that it was a great movie that really drew me in and I just had to watch it over and over. It was more the circumstances surrounding it. But I remember that was the first Halloween movie that I saw in theaters. Being the how old I was and the time that it came out.
Mhm.
So that really kind of got the ball rolling for me where I actually got to go out. I could go when we had the movie theater, I could just walk down there. We had 2 or 3 video stores in town at the time. I could just walk to them or ride my bike. It kind of got the ball rolling, I think, is really
Yeah.
what I would say.
That newfound freedom.
Yeah.
And then movie watching too. I hear
Yep.
you.
Because then
I
from
hear you.
there, I was going and getting older Halloween movies, older Friday the 13th movies, Nightmare on Elm Street movies, things like that. Just
Mhm.
kind of getting caught up on them. And I remember watching them, a lot of them out of order. So it was kind of confusing, especially when you're young and you don't know any better.
Right. Number 2. Name 5 of your favorite films.
Well, one of them I actually just mentioned, which would be the Karate Kid. That was
Nice.
one I grew up watching with my dad,
Mhm.
and I like the whole series. Well, the first 3 anyway. After that,
That's what I consider the Karate Kid movies, the first 3.
yeah. But yeah, the first one especially. One of my all timers would be The Crow, Brandon Lee.
Nice.
Excellent movie. The score is amazing. The soundtrack is great. That's another movie that I would put that as kind of like a 5-star type film for me. Almost nothing wrong with it at all.
Did you see the new Karate Kid Legends?
No.
Me either.
I don't think I can bring myself to watch even the one with who was it, Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
I watched it once and that was enough. I was like,
Mhm.
I just can't do this to myself. You're ruining my childhood here.
Yep. What's another
So
one?
another one would be Sideways. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. A lot of people might not be, especially
I'm not drinking Pinot.
yeah, exactly.
I love that movie, man.
Actually, that's one I'm hoping to do a watch along with a couple of friends here shortly.
Oh,
we
I
got
I definitely want in. I love Giamatti. So I would love to be in on that. That's cool.
sweet. Yeah, I will add your name to the list.
Awesome. That's 3 or 4.
That's 3.
Give me
So
2 more.
number 4 would be Man on Fire, Denzel
Big
Washington.
Denzel fan. Yeah.
That is one of the very few movies that will make me cry every time.
Hmm.
Yep, you get to even before you get to the end, like the kidnap
Yeah.
scene, then of course the scene at the very end,
Yeah.
music, the everything about it. It just
Yeah.
every time I well up and I'm just sitting there watching like I
That
knew this
little
was
fanning
happening,
girl.
but-
That
Yeah.
little fanning girl will bring it out in you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was kind of the peak of her career right there. I mean, she's gone on and done other stuff, but to me, like that was kind of her big movie for me anyway.
Yeah.
And then 5th and finally, I picked Halloween because, as I said, it's definitely my favorite horror film, and like everything else I already said, uh, it brought so much with it that it was never designed to do. You know, it was designed to be a one and done. And then we're still talking about it today. We're still making movies. There's TV shows in production. There's everything, and a lot of us are super obsessed with it. Of course,
Right.
we've got Halloween, the Halloween 50 convention coming up in 28, which I'm hoping to make it to. I've got a lot of friends that are definitely going, and I'm stashing away a little cash here and there, and just pad it a little bit because cross country trip and a hotel and everything else.
Mhm. It
It's
adds
not
up.
cheap,
It
so
adds up.
I'm just kind of biding my time, but I'm hoping to make it.
There you go. All right, let's get to everyone's favorite question. Number 3, name a popular classic movie that everybody loves, but you don't particularly like it.
This one was tough. I hemmed and hawed over it for a while, and I actually had to go through like lists of movies, and I was scrolling through. I'm like, no, it's classic, but it's good. Classic's good. Classic good. And then one hit me as I was scrolling. I stopped. And I went, that's the one right there. Now, at the time, maybe it was not universally loved. I think it took a while. I think when it came out, it did kind of flop.
Mhm.
But today, I know it's considered a cult classic, and it's built up a huge fan base for a variety of reasons. I've only seen it once. I had a college friend who made me sit down and watch it, and that is Labyrinth.
Really?
hmm
Mr. Jim Henson.
It,
Okay.
it was not for me at all. I had a friend, yeah, she was super obsessed with it. I think she
Yeah.
was really obsessed with David Bowie, and she's like, "You have to watch this movie. It's so good." So we sat down one day and
I
watched it,
hate when people do
and I was like, "Great, well, I'm gonna go back to my room now."
that. Oh, okay. So let's flip that and go to number 4. Name a critically hated movie that you love.
I think this was my favorite question. Uh,
There's a lot, especially as a horror fan.
yeah, so I went with a movie that it's not horror, and it was definitely, I wouldn't say it was universally hated, but
Hmm.
critically hated for sure. And a lot of people just don't like it. I don't know if they don't like the theme, they don't like the acting, whatever. But the movie Wild Hogs
Oh,
with
with John Travolta and Martin
mhm,
Lawrence and all of them.
yep.
I
Yeah,
remember that
I
movie.
I love that movie. It's got a special place in my heart. It's just a fun family oriented type of movie that you could sit down with
Ooh.
your family and watch, other than the one scene with the cop when he tries to
Yeah,
spoon
yeah.
with him and all that and then gets naked, and probably
A
don't want to
14,
watch that part. But
a 14 on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow, I didn't know it was that bad.
wow, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the critics hated it, most people hated it. I love it. That's
Huh.
probably in my top, I wouldn't say it's my top 10 favorite movies, but easily top 20, I would say. Just
Huh.
a fun film to watch. It just
Yeah.
And when I first watched it, at the time I was a biker guy, and I was hoping to do a cross country trip someday, and then that just never panned out. Now I don't have a bike anymore, and you know
Yeah.
life gets in the way.
Yes, it does. It does. We have some questions here in the chat. Was Bowie's crotch not tight enough for you? Talking about Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's probably all it was, Chris.
Cody asks, Donnie Darko, what the F is a big deal? We'll talk. We will talk because I love that movie. I get something out of it every time I see it.
Yeah, that was a
Um,
good one. I that was one I finally watched not that long ago.
yeah. Tony Scott talking about Man on Fire.
hmm
And
Yeah,
then
great
people
one.
just going back and forth in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I still have not seen the remake of The Crow. That's my
Mhm.
part. I can't bring myself. I love the original so much. I can't bring myself to watch the remake. It took me up forever to watch a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street because, I always say Freddy's the man of my dreams. So it's hard for me to see anybody else but Robert Englund doing that. Princey agrees that Wild Hogs is a good one. Yeah, it's a good family film, like you said. So that's good. That's good. Sir, this was fun. I'm looking forward to going through some more videos. Tell people where to find you, and then we will land with our last question.
Yeah, yeah, you can find me right on OnlyFans. I mean, YouTube.com/@ horror on tap HOT. So horror on tap HOT on YouTube.
HOT?
Horror on tap HOT. Somebody already had the horror on tap name when I came up with it, but they had only uploaded one video from like 2013. So I said, screw you, I'm taking the name.
There
So I
you
had
go.
to add the HOT, horror on tap.
So if you like your beer hot, HOT, just remember that. Just remember that.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for coming on. This was, I can't even say last minute because we kind of figured out that we are going to do this a while. But yes, I'm glad that we had this chance to chat and so forth. Definitely. See, you can't let people know your screen name because then they just want to share it out with everybody.
I'm writing that one down. I'm going to steal that too. Jordan
Yeah,
Donger.
might as well.
Put that in my notes.
Jordan just wants everyone to know how hot he is. My neighbors have been drinking all day, and I guess it's the hour where they get loud. Thank you, noise reduction, because you can't hear them doing a drunk whoa outside my window.
Yeah, I closed my windows when I came in here to do this because I don't know if the neighbors are going to be real loud, but I could hear first there was a lawnmower, then there was a chainsaw. I'm like, oh, it's going to pick it up. And I have I've got, noise suppression and all that. But once it picks it up, then you're just hearing like in the background, and it's so annoying. But
it's like the AC.
Yeah, I wish I had my AC in here right now. It is getting toasty.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day though. After this morning. This morning sucked, but after that it was nice. It was like 72, 73, sunny. Finally got out and was able to take my shirt off, and the neighbor screamed, so I put it back on. It was a good day.
Del just gave you a subscription. Thank you for that.
Excellent. I appreciate that.
Steve enjoyed it as well. So with that in mind, let's see. Ooh, Colin. There we go. A lot of fun. Shout out to KB and Jordan. Thank you. Thank you so much. We had fun with this. But now that we've done this and you've gone through the 5 takes, we end with number 5. Who would you like to see me have a conversation with? Real person that you could help me get on this channel.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and give a nod to my buddy Pat, that Halloween movie collector, who I saw in the chat at one point. I don't know if he's still there. Oh, there he is. I do see his name. Kind of hard to see him. I've got the chat up on my laptop, so it's really small and my eyes are terrible. So, yeah, I'd like to nominate him. He is very knowledgeable when it comes to films. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to horror films, but films in general, he seems to know a lot about them. He's watched a lot. He retains a lot too.
That's good.
Somehow, some way, like he can pull names and dates and things like that right out of his ass. And he's got an amazing Halloween collection. His studio is his big collection in the background. It's his Halloween room, as he calls it, which I've actually been in. He doesn't live terribly far, about 4 hours away, but we met up and did some fun stuff. I'll just leave it at that. And then our buddy Cody Snyder, who was also in the chat, he hung out, and then it was a 3-way. I'll shut up. I don't want to give too much.
Pat is still here.
But we had a good weekend. He took us. He's not terribly far from a lot of the filming locations from the original Friday the 13th. So he took us to a bunch of those, and that actually kind of got a lot of things rolling with my channel too, because I actually could do a location video, which I had never done before. Yeah, because there's really not a lot around me where anything was ever filmed, other than a film that I was in many moons ago.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. It was dirty, all right. No, I'm just kidding. It's a little kind of a lower budget film. Actually, my current landlord is a movie director and writer and all that out in LA. So, and that's how I met him, was through that. And now I live in his house.
There you go. We'll leave it at that. I want to thank everyone for joining us. As I always say, if it's your first time here, welcome. If it's your 57th time here before, welcome back, and thank you for joining us. We have another, if everything goes right, we have another conversation coming up tomorrow night. We're just going to call him Dave, King of the Popcorn Factory. You'll understand it in more detail when you stop by to hang out and jump in the chat, bring your questions for him. But I want to thank you again, Jordan, for coming on, and everyone for joining us in the chat. So for now, I will say, as I always do, go watch a movie. I'm going to go watch something else. I don't know what, but we're going to watch something. Have a good evening, everyone.